we the most murderous group in America by a long shot? Why are we killing ourselves? Literally, this actually happened. The data reveals that Black Americans are responsible for the predominance of murder in all of the 65 most deadly cities except one. I went through the list this morning, right? And it has this list. It's broken up. We're going to put it up for you. And it tells you what the deadly U.S. city is. It tells you how many Black homicide offenders there were and how many white homicide offenders there were for the year of 2021 when we got Juneteenth. And I just went ahead and highlighted the ones where the white and Black populations is either split or it's majority white. Because if it's a majority Black city, then you can argue, oh, okay, well, there's more Black people in the city, so that's why we are more murderous. No. I went ahead and highlighted for you where the white population is more predominant, and yet we are still the most murderous, or when the population is split evenly. First up, the most murderous city, the deadliest U.S. city, is St. Louis, Missouri. That is a predominantly white population, 46.3% white, 44% Black. 90 Black homicide offenders versus just 12 white homicide offenders. Dayton, Ohio, predominantly white. 23 Black homicide offenders versus 7 white homicide offenders. Richmond, Virginia, about an even split there, 45 to 44%. 54 Black homicide offenders to just four white homicide offenders. North Charleston, South Carolina, that is 43% Black population to a almost even 41.8% white population. Not an even split amongst the homicide offenders. Black homicide offenders, 28 to just 11 white homicide offenders. Columbia, South Carolina, majority white, 50% white to 40% Black. Doesn't matter because the Black homicide offenders are 21 versus 0 white homicide offenders. Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this is 48% Black versus 41% white population. In Atlanta, Georgia, 101 Black homicide offenders versus just 1 white homicide offender. Indianapolis, Indiana, majority white. 75 Black homicide offenders versus 24 white homicide offenders. Little Rock, Arkansas, majority white. 46 Black homicide offenders versus 3 white homicide offenders. Let me know if this is upsetting you, Juneteenth people that like to celebrate and pretend that we don't have real issues that we need to face and that this wasn't a consolation prize, because I'm not done yet. And I'm just going to go over the first page here. There's a whole second one. Basically tells us the exact same story. Chicago, Illinois. I am shocked to learn that that is actually a majority white population by a lot, 45% white versus 29% Black. Despite this, the disparity, 152 Black homicide offenders versus 26 white homicide offenders. Same in Chattanooga, Tennessee, majority white, 15 Black homicide offenders to just 2 white homicide offenders. Buffalo, New York, majority white, 12 Black homicide offenders versus 5 white homicide offenders. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, dead even split, 39% to 39%. Not an even split amongst homicide offenders. 139 Black homicide offenders versus just 11 white homicide offenders. Lastly, we'll do Dallas, Texas. 53% white, overwhelming majority versus just 24% Black population. Despite that, in Dallas, Texas, there are 180 Black homicide offenders in the year 2021 versus just 62 white homicide offenders in Dallas, Texas. So what does that story tell you? Now, in case that didn't seem bad enough to you, what's amazing is that these are FBI numbers, and for no reason at all, the FBI actually combines Hispanic and white numbers together. So those white numbers, which pale in comparison to Black numbers, also includes Hispanic men, just so they can make it look like Black men aren't as murderous as they actually are. That's the truth. As I said, we are the most murderous group in America, and it is not getting better. The crime rates are going up astronomically. We're also, as a matter of fact, the most illiterate group in America by a long shot. This is according to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, which is a sector of the United States Department of Education. Get ready. 84% of Black students lack proficiency in mathematics, and 85% of Black students lack proficiency in reading skills. 85%. Does that not just shock you? Does that not absolutely shock you? It is incredible. And yet they scream progress because they can twerk on top of a Pizza Hut on Juneteenth. How is that for freedom?
Amazing.
So it's true, you guys. You've said this 1,000 times. I get it. I'm not invited to the cookout on Juneteenth. I guess I'm just going to have to stay alive. That's my other option. I don't want to go to your stupid cookout. I don't want to do anything. I want nothing to do with Black culture today. I don't know how many times I can say that. There's nothing good about it. It's completely ghetto. It's not the Black culture I grew up watching. It ain't the Winslows. It's not Family Matters. It's not the Jack.
We ready? Are we ready?
Let's go.
First and foremost, seriously, this the type of shit you paid attention to?
The brothers, as you see, this is our fourth time. This is like our fourth time. This is our fourth one. We broke down. Basically, we just break down. It's like an ongoing conversation with us because it's like it's never stopped. Honestly, this is like the fourth one. So we just pick different ones, like different sectors. As y'all see, I ain't gonna keep talking, but the overall thing is, do you think that is Black culture trash?
First and foremost, this is the only thing I'm gonna start off with. What does any of those numbers have to do with Juneteenth? That's the first and foremost. What does any of that have to do with Juneteenth? Juneteenth is the actual day of liberation, not just for our people, but for freedom in America. So we could abolish July 4th.
Speaking of it, when I watched, it was the she was showing videos of what happened on Juneteenth. That's why she said at one point. That's why she said she talked about the people twerking on top of a Pizza Hut. There was a video that a lot of Black people, they shut down a block on Juneteenth and had a party, and they got upstairs on top of the Pizza Hut and they were twerking. So that's why she said on Juneteenth. That's why I was going to it. Might be I didn't cut it out. My boss. Might be boss.
No, it's okay. That still does not discredit the fact that Juneteenth was the last day that we were enslaved. So the actual freedom of this nation is for Juneteenth. July 4th was for them, not for all. So none of that still had anything to do with Juneteenth. That's the first thing that's now see, here's the thing. I love my people. I love my people. So even somebody who's lost an identity, as your sis Candace, as Ty says, I still love her. Poor baby. She needs so much guidance. Probably need anyway.
No, don't say it, Trey. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Next up.
I got a question, man. With these stats, man. First off, they make us seem like I was surprised the stats was that low. To be honest, I was surprised the stats was that low, and I say that because they make us seem like just every day we out here killing somebody and this and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
What I do agree with at the end, the programming that we get shown. She said like, yo, like this is not Family Matters. This is not, a lot of the shows that used to display the the black families and you know, the more positive images. I agree with her on that part, that a lot of that stuff is not getting shown anymore. And you know, we done talked about that a bunch, about how that play into the psyche and everything like that as well. But I'm just interested, I probably could pull some numbers and show in certain areas that white people's killing more white people than black people, and present those same stats to counteract that argument too. And I'm thinking about doing it, to be honest. Like I'm really thinking about. I just don't got the time to sit here and be trying to pull up that stuff. But you can flip stats or numbers to present whatever argument that you want to present. So, like I said, I don't want to get too deep in it, because I want our guests to speak. Because we had talked about this, I don't know how many times.
Shine. Get your shine on. Get your shine on, shout it.
Yeah. So, hey, I put this on. I put it on everywhere. Booty cheeks, kneecaps, underarms. I got the vanilla right here. Usually, hey, I got the lavender one. It helped me sleep good, because I be sleeping like this, and I can smell it off my hands. I'm trying to tell you, feeling good. Y'all better rock with this.
Right.
It's that vanilla. Yeah.
Listen, man, we ain't being ashy no more. Hygiene. Yeah. Hygiene is important. You need to get your shine. It's hydrating. It's light. It lasts all day. You don't got to use a lot, and it's good from face to foot.
Historically, I don't really use lotion or nothing like that, because I'm like in a hybrid, light skin, in between dark skin motherfuckers. Coming back from vacation, I'm a little sunburnt, so I needed something to get my skin back right, because I'm feeling like a reptile right now. So I'm gonna get this baby going on when I get home.
Oh, and look, you gotta shine on, everybody. Hey, look, I got like 4 cases. I got a bunch of cases. And I got the big jaw too. That's old school. Y'all don't even know about that. He don't even got those no more. But look, I'm telling y'all, this shine is amazing. Help with eczema, you know, clear your skin up, all of that great stuff. So you don't want to miss out on this shine, man. Make sure y'all go get y'all a bottle of this.
All natural ingredients.
Absolutely.
Yep. Where they can find it?
So you can find this at shinecareproducts.com. Let them know that we sent you. Use the code FMF20, get you a discount.
Got to.
I'm saying, but you know, I want the guests to go ahead and speak, because I'm about to get rolling. But go ahead, whichever one of y'all want to start first.
Yeah, I wanted to speak on one thing. Like, I respect the numbers, but like you were saying, it doesn't really show everything, like what goes all into those numbers. And then she touched on, I remember I watched y'all last Black Culture episode, and I know G was he was big on saying it's the choices that we make. You know, when you talk about when she threw out the illiterate, you know, stats and everything like that, you know, where we come from, Prince Edward. I'm not sure if y'all really know the history of Prince Edward, but we was back in 59. They closed our schools for 5 years straight. We was a part of the Board of Education, Brown versus Board of Education. We was a part of that case. So a lot of our aunties, a lot of our uncles, they stopped their education like 7th, 8th grade. A lot of them didn't even go back to school. So that trickled down to us today, you know. And I understand, like, us as individuals, we are different from that previous generation, because we made the choice of going to college, getting our degrees and everything like that. But you still got to take that into a factor, you know what I'm saying, that a lot of our moms, a lot of our aunties and uncles, they didn't get the same education that we had, so it was hard for them to teach us growing up. It was hard for them to give us the real jewels that we need to be successful in this world. So a lot of when I look at those numbers, you know, it's cool to look into, you know, but like you're saying, like I could pull up a few hundred cities that probably had the same stats for another race. Not even for just white people. You could probably find the same thing for probably Asians across the country, you know, across the water or some such shit like that. But when you look at those stats, you gotta really look into all the factors that go into those numbers. And I feel like, you know, she don't really. Candace Owens is special. She's
That's
special,
a good way to put it.
But you know, She's very special, but you really gotta, like I said, you really gotta look into all the factors that go into those numbers, and they don't really talk about those factors like they supposed to.
So yeah, I'm a piggyback off that. 100%. That's exactly the point that I was gonna make. Going back, so back in our hometown, they shut the schools down. What they did was they shut the public schools down because they didn't want to integrate, and then they opened a private school where, if you could afford to pay and everything like that, you can go to the private school. So my grandmother, for instance, she stopped getting educated, and then boom, she went to go work in that tobacco field. She ended up graduating community college in her late adult years, and just said that she just wanted to have the education, and because education is power. She was like, she said I remember her telling me that she couldn't get her driver's license because she couldn't read a stop sign. So she started off having someone teach her how to read stop signs, or let's read first, was just how to read, and then she put herself to school and everything like that. But I wanted to those numbers, when you talk about those numbers, you really got to look into the factors of why those numbers are as high as
Thank you. For what?
You said there earlier, redlining got brought up. I don't think people really understand how much discrimination, bro. It's how much policy was in place to keep us where we were. I just found out the other day off Twitter who it was that stopped reparations, why we never got 40 acres and a mule after slavery and all that stuff. And it's systematic oppression is something that we say a lot, but people don't really know how deep it goes.
Thank you.
Like I said, my grandmother didn't know how to read. If she did not make the choice to educate herself and to get education, there probably would have been a slim choice of me going to college. I was a first generation college student. Well, no, I did it back. I was a second generation 4-year college student. Everybody in my family had a trade or some form of education, but no knowledge on how to navigate financial aid, just how to utilize the resources that was there. None of that. And I will never forget, I was in Econ 201. I will never forget this. We're having a conversation about financial aid, and it's me, my homeboy, he's Yemen, and it's a white boy.
Yeah.
And me and my homeboy, we're just talking about financial aid and how we're barely getting anything back, and just how we just waiting for that little bit of a refund check. And I'll never forget, dude looked at me and was like, "What's financial aid?" So we bust out laughing because it's "Oh, you joking?" Bro had no idea what it was for financial aid. Bro's dad was a lawyer, so he got the bread, sent his son to school. His son was going to become a lawyer. That's something that was completely. I'm like, what do you mean? What's financial aid? That's the only reason I'm even in this class, and I'm barely getting it. But just simple knowledge, simple knowledge on how finances work, on how to navigate the world in corporate America, or just in that scenery or that area where we don't see us at.
There you go.
And then you sit there and you bring these numbers up like you made the point of, we're always killing each other, but you don't give us the resources to succeed in these areas. Right. St. Louis, Missouri, because I had looked this stat up too at one point. I didn't know how bad it was out there. I mean, I don't even think about Missouri oftentimes, but you're talking about an area where you go, and if you go further down south to Louisiana, where the education rates, all these factors play this part, and why African Americans are in the way they are, where literally some people are in survival mode 24/7. If I'm working 2 jobs to keep the lights on because the housing market is steadily increasing, I don't have time to go sit my kids down at the kitchen table and make them do their homework. I need y'all to do what I say when I get back. Now, I ain't got no food in my fridge, so now my children are out there hustling. Now there's a possibility of them getting shot. Now there's a possibility of them being introduced to this world. And you're sitting there, you're throwing them numbers, but you're not going to the city helping no one learn how to read. Like I just think it's like you real, like people throw these numbers in there and they get me fired up, and I gotta stop because I'm about to go on a tangent myself because they'll know, like I gotta go for an hour on this on the podcast. Don't sit there and throw numbers in my face, bro. When you're sitting there, you're not looking at the entire picture. Like why the hell was affirmative action put into place? This is what I'm talking about, bro. Like this is it. Like, you're sitting there, and you doing all this talking about stuff, but we got civil rights was less than 100 years ago. Like we're surprised, like that we're where we are today. Like, bro, like man, y'all can call her special, man. I don't like her. I swear, bro, when G put the clip up, I said, hey, I might as well start scrolling because she'll get me started.
Come on, G. Where you at, bro? I saw you making some faces.
Let Wes go. Let Wes go. Go ahead, Wes.
Okay. I've been waiting on this. I had to take some notes before we even did this podcast, and then when she brought up the stats, I said, "Why she talking? Let me go ahead and look into these numbers." I look into the specific states that she highlighted. Our majority of those had historically black towns in Richmond, Virginia. We got Jackson Ward. She talking about Indiana. We talking about Arkansas. We talking about you selecting places that are known for what we did in the past that never gets talked about. You see what I'm saying? We're not talking about the data where the government went and attacked these places. We're not talking about the data. And when we look at, so I looked at North Carolina, Richmond, Virginia, Chicago. Each one of these, the average salary for black households is under 40,000. Richmond being 38,000, Ohio being 36,000, and North Carolina being 29,000. If you don't have any money, you gonna kill. That's just how it works. If you don't have resources, you have no choice but to turn against what you need for survival. So what we're talking about and what she's, which because I'm not a fan of her, but we need people like her to wake us up so that we cannot continue to believe the lie. They have data, we have data. That data is only telling one truth. Information without context is just a lie. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a half truth. If you're not telling the whole truth, you're just lying to people. You're misleading people. So we can talk about black on black crime, but we don't talk about white on white crime. And these things are all particularly put on us to get us emotionally charged, like these conversations do for us. But to go on the root of this, does black culture exist? I think black culture used to exist. Right now we live in nigger culture. So I don't subscribe to the culture that we in right now as black, because black culture, we talking about kings and queens, we talking about Egypt, we talking about inventing everything that you see. We're not talking about what we do right now. What we do right now is still white culture. It's still our masters teaching us what to do, what to eat. When you look up what is culture, what makes it up, it's the religion, it's the language, it's the behavior patterns, and majority of black people act white. So we can't say it's black culture. This is just trauma culture. This is nigger culture. This is slave culture, because we eat like we did when we were slaves. We walk and talk like we did when we were slaves. We don't do for ourselves like when we were slaves. So is this black culture or is it trauma culture? So I do agree that so-called black culture is trash, but we don't live in black culture. But this nigger culture that we live in definitely is trash.
I was with you to the end. I was with you to the end, bro. You spoke some facts, but
Yo, what's up, FMF mob? What's good, yo? Hey, I want to thank y'all for all the subscribers that we got. We clicked over 100 subscribers, but we looking, man, we need more support. So y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button at the bottom. Make sure you like the videos and keep showing us support. Y'all take care.
I can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really containing the lion right now. But for those who don't know, I'm a Leo, so take that as you will. Big ol'. Yeah, I mean, but I want to hear your take, G. You started making faces and stuff. What was going on in your thoughts? What was you thinking?
I mean, ain't much I can say. I'm a superhero. I already said my my thoughts on it, man. I just wanted to have more guests on here and get like some more perspectives on it, just to like to see my hypothesis.
Do you agree with do you agree with the video?
I don't. Well, I don't want to be like that because you a man. You asked me a question. I'm gonna answer your question first before I elaborate. Now say hold on. Do you say I agree with it or I think it's true? Which one you said?
I said, do you agree with both?
Well, yeah. I mean, I do. Like I said, I just wanted a hypothesis because I figured that's how most black people think, and it's more of a I already explained. It's more of a need more help, or we don't have this, or we do this because of this, or because of this, and that's wrong. It brings up more of the hypothesis that it don't matter if the only time most black people agree, unless it's something good in their favor, if it's anything that's negative or showing any kind of criticism, even it don't matter if you see it, it don't matter if you hear it on speakers, it don't matter if you see it on TV, it don't matter if they made statistics, it don't matter what it is, it's still going to be some kind of excuse or something is wrong. It don't matter who's going to say it. So for me even to say it, and I'm not really anybody's dad or any big idol or rapper or anything like that, because most black people just listen to celebrities and rappers. It don't point to me going on and saying anything. I just say I just got away from the culture, and if black people want to be in that same spot of begging and whining, saying they need something and more handouts, or what happened in slavery, and they want to stay in that mindset, I can't change it. Let them just stay where they are. I mean, ain't nothing I can really say. I just did this because we were still continuing the black culture, so there's no point in me changing another man's mind or speaking on it. People already seen the other episodes, man. I let people be where they are. It's like talking to a brick wall. So
the reason why we started this podcast is for black men to speak. Can't have community without communication, so why stop speaking? And then
I'm not speaking. I already said what I had to say. I just don't need a paragraph with it. It's like talking with somebody, and I said no. I don't need it's not a multiple question answer. It's just a straight true or false, and I just said it. There's no need for an explanation on it.
So where did you see the truth in this video?
Where I see the truth,
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time in the news. I see it around my neighborhoods when I was growing up. I mean, I see it in rap videos. I see it in I see it a lot. I see it everywhere. But it don't matter how many times some people can see it, or they can see it on news. They can see it right in their face. Like I said, my girlfriend seen it. It was same way shooting around there. Somebody most likely in their family got shot or killed by somebody. It keeps on happening. But for some reason, black people think it's not happening for some reason. And they just be like, no, it's not us. It's because we broke. It's because of this. So it's like we see it, but there's no, even if I say it, it ain't going to really matter. Black people going to stay in the same spot. That's why I said they're going to stay in the same spot. They ain't going to change. Black people ain't going to change unless they change themselves. And right now they do no wrong. It's always somebody else's fault.
Hey, yo, I want to say, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Me?
No, the Unfiltered brothers. I saw
Okay.
they put their
I got it. I just want to ask a question. Because I'm not gonna say I disagree with you, because I definitely agree. And what Wes was saying earlier about nigga culture, that is like a good way of putting it. That's a good way of making it. Like I would put it.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, let's backtrack. Right, let's backtrack. To piggyback something off Wes said about black culture being, where we came from, and then kind of going into what G was saying. If everything about you right now, like everything single thing about you, was beat, taken from you, stole from you, to the point where now in order for you to survive, you have to adopt to the identity of the individual that's abusing you. And then what they tell you is, all right, you good, go do what you got to do, you're free. But then they set up systematic things, and they keep putting a roadblock in your way every time you try to get free.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making excuses for black people. Like I said, it goes back down to a choice. Like my grandmother could have chose to not go get educated. She could have chose to stay where she was and that was full and within her right as an adult. But it also takes a great person and a great mindset to invoke change. Because I've had this same conversation with her, and she was like, "I just don't see why we are where we are." And I'm like, "Well, first of all, not everybody thinks on the wavelength that we as like." I mean, I'm just impressed that we are able to have this conversation as fluently as we are. Because like people don't have these conversations.
Yeah.
But they got to start somewhere. But people don't think like us.
Right.
And it goes back to that whole survival of the fittest thing. Like you kind of got to look at the environment in which a person's in and you got to understand. I work for social services and I investigate fraud. So it'll be people that come before me that say, yeah, I stole food stamps. I sold food stamps because I needed to provide for my family. I still got to take them people to court just as I would take anybody else to court if I found enough proof that they committed fraud. What I'm saying, though, is like when you really talking to these people and when you really listen to them, bro, it's scary how their minds are working. Yeah. It's not all turning up there. They really like they really thinking on this one plane, like this one level. And it's like, and not just black, white too,
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I've been noticing, I'm like, man, like, y'all really think y'all need these food stamps. Like this one girl, I don't tell too much business, but like, she was making good money. And I was like, why you just ain't close your case? You got the job. Well, she told me straight up, she said, well, what am I supposed to use to feed my family? Bro, mind you, she was white. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, you don't need the government to feed your family. You're making more money than me. And I'm about to take you to court. I feel like it's a gap. It's like, I don't know how to really make it make sense, but it's like a barrier there. That it just, for some people it clicks and some people it don't. And I feel like going back to that nigger culture conversation, if we in the hood and I gotta survive, he gotta survive, I don't got time to think about my mindset switching. I gotta sit here and I gotta do what I gotta do to survive, because even if boys in the hood, the one dude that was gonna make it out the hood died. That's crushing right there. And I mean, like it goes back to, like you said, like y'all mentioned, playing on the psyche, playing on the mental. People live every day with stress and PTSD and just this constant pressure. And I ain't just talking about people in the hood. I'm talking about these rich folks too. That's how they sit back. People commit suicide. Like suicide and mental health is real. Like,
come on, bro.
I'm a mental advocate myself. I'm in therapy right now. Like,
come on, bro.
You only got one mind. And my mama used to always say the mind is the devil's playground. And if you don't get that joint straight and do what you got to do to get through your day, then I'm just thankful that I had friends and family to put me straight, to like, if I veered off, go this way. Because I know I wouldn't have did it by myself. But then there are a lot of people that don't have the blessings that I have, and I have to acknowledge that. I think the acceptance of blessings in our personal life will help us open our hearts and humble ourselves to seeing how people truly live. And that's just me coming from someone that works at social services and sees this every day. Like,
not only that,
go ahead, bro. I'm done.
Not only that, but you good, bro. And I love all of your perspective. Not only that, not to go too crazy, but I do disagree with the mentality that it's excuses and it's victim mentality and all of it's weak-minded. I disagree with all of those terms that have been used here, G, because we can't dismiss the factors in our people. Secondly, yeah, we have control, yeah, we have the power, but you have to tap into that power. And that's why representation matters. And a lot of people, going back to what Wes first came on here and spoke about, if you don't value, like, say for instance, somebody will see this and be like, my own people don't understand me. My own people, I can't reach out, I can't talk to you. The way the communication has been is like, if I see you and you're in a good position, I don't feel like I can come ask you, how did you did it? Would you assist me? Because the communication is like, I'm weak because I'm not where you are. So let me just focus on me. It boosts singularity, and we're stronger in numbers. So I disagree with that wording. And that second, another thing I'm gonna point out is, I asked, where did you get this from? Stats, news.
Oh, you still here? You ain't subscribed yet? Hit that button, my man. Hit that button to subscribe.
Radio, music, entertainment, all promotion. This is what we was talking about when it comes to promotion. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm literally every day in the hood. Hours, like majority of my day is spent in the hood, right? Yeah, I have not had no threats. I have not been in danger. I have not been afraid. And it's not just because of who I am. It's because I'm not judging these people who are my people. I love my people. I talk to my people, and the way I talk to them is the way I talk to you all. It's the way I talk to somebody who is in a higher class. We was on the power call this morning. Shout out to Brother West, connecting everybody on the power call. If you want to tap into that, be in contact with him. But we was on the power call with Brother Ben X, and he played Minister Farrakhan word about the source of power. And one of the things that stood out from him was what he said was, when he walked into palaces and kingdoms, he talking to them, what's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? The same way that if I was to walk in the hood, I'm talking to them like, what's up, brother? Nobody's above the other. But I know, and I see my people. I see my people because they're in an environment, because they're in an address, because they're in a zip code, because they're in the hood, because they're in impoverished areas. They get separated by not only the opposition, but us who are not in there as well. We see somebody from the hood and it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to them. They might twerk on the table if you invite them. Oh, they might smoke a cigarette outside like we don't got everybody else doing the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't see coming together with that. I have not heard any solution from this Candace bitch. I haven't heard nothing. I haven't heard anything. And then she the same one who like, oh, black people emotional and they're crying racism. But then she cried racism when a designer just, you know what I'm saying? She cried racism when a designer decided not to work with her and her white husband because they're horrible people. You know what I'm saying? Still love her, but she lost. Then she gonna go on and cry racism. It's because of racism. That's racism. Like, who are these people that y'all listening to? It's contradictory. And if you are not actively speaking to people, providing solutions, trying to do better, being a leader and a role model and an image amongst the people, then your opinion is not valid to me. Anybody who has anything to say about all of that, until you actually go there, talk to somebody, put something in place, contribute somehow, then it doesn't matter to me, because you are only going on the falsehoods of a one-sided argument. So for a lot of people, you're really just lost. So when we can throw away the status, when we can throw away and just look at, this is my brother, this is my sister. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be pointing the finger when we should be lending a hand. You know what I'm saying? And nothing is done on earth completely by yourself. Nothing is done on earth completely by yourself. So I got it out the mud. No, you didn't. I did it by my own. I made my own way. No, you didn't. Somebody gave you an opportunity. Yeah, you was prepared for it. Yeah, you jumped at it and you made traction within it, but somebody gave you the opportunity. Somebody opened the door, regardless of what. You know what I'm saying? The clothes you got on, did you pick the cotton? Did you fashion it? Did you twill and needle and make your own pants? No, somebody else had to provide that. The money that you're using, somebody else printed that. The car that you're driving, somebody else. Come on, man. We're connected. So this single ideology is destroying not only black but all humans, but we focusing on black. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to the culture, it's more so when I think of culture, I just think about innate nature. And our nature is love. But our strength is resiliency. But we're going to be resilient to the forces in front of us. So just because a lot of us don't have to deal with the same problems, we looking at them like that's not even a problem. Yes, it is. It's not a problem for some of us, but for a lot of us, that is a problem. And then when we speak about it, we're too emotional. When we cried about it, we're stupid. We're illiterate. We don't know nothing. It's like, what the fuck? So am I strong? Am I weak? Can I talk to you? Do I be quiet? Should I cry? Don't do nothing? Why we not making progress? We're just like, it's like, where are we? What are we going to do, bro? So yeah, we can keep having a conversation, and I love all my fellas, I love all my people, and we're going to continue having this conversation for it to resonate with the people, but for it to actually start making progress, we got to start talking solution. We got to start like more inclusion, because I can't exclude you because you live in Jackson Ward. You feel me? I can't. That's the exact shit we talking about with affirmative action. Let's take that white mentality about of it, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's learn a little bit more.
Man, you bring up if I don't mind, if I can add in that, you bring up a valid point too, just as far as that relatability, because you brought up the power call, and on that call as well, it was a young brother. He's 22 years old. He was speaking about, well, he didn't speak on it on the call, but we have a Telegram that we talk offline on. But
yeah,
22, he been smoking weed since he was 13 years old, and he threw it all away yesterday, like on video, threw it all away. So these type of things we have to be able to see, so that you know that black people do change once we have the right catalyst for the change. If we're looking for music videos, or we're looking for the news, or we're looking for the internet, the radio to change people, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is us changing. So like you, G, like you, Trey, Paul, the Unfiltered Brothers, us changing and other people seeing us change is what's going to change our people. But us waiting on the government to pass a bill, us waiting on Adidas to make a new outfit for black people, us looking at the stock market to say, well, why black people ain't investing in the stock market? Because they ain't got no money. Let's not worry about let's not focus on the problem. Let's focus on the solution. The solution is make yourself better, show other people your process, document the process so we can learn, because we don't have any other outlets that care about us enough to be able to show us the right examples. They want to show us baby mamas and baby daddies. They want to show us a new reality show. They want to show us commercials and have us spending another $2 trillion a year on things that don't benefit us, and why we don't have institutions, and why these HBCUs aren't getting funded when we make enough money or spend enough money, more than we're the 8th largest country or nation, and we're not even a nation. We're not even unified, but we unify and spend our money with everybody else. All of these things are a side effect or a byproduct of lack of information, lack of empowerment, and lack of guidance. And who's going to guide them if we just going to leave everybody to themselves to figure it out? They're going to fall off to the side. So my biggest thing, and that's the reason why I've been working on myself so much, because I know what I've been through. I know what I done seen. I done seen the violence. I done seen the crime. I done participated in it. So I know what it feels like when you think that that's the only option that you have, and then you can come out of it. You see what I'm saying? I didn't have to do it. I came from a 2-parent household, worked in corporate America, and still got into the trouble. So is it the radio? Is it the music? Is it all that? Or is it the fact that we are in a position where it's not designed for us to be benefited on. It's designed for it to be built on our backs. And until we realize that if we don't get up off our feet, get up off our knees and stop begging, just like Trey brought up, complain on your knees. You can pray about it all you want, but if you're not acting, if you're not working every day to get yourself out your situation, not looking at everybody else and what they doing and what they not doing, what are you doing with your life to improve and showing other people that it's possible? Is it just what we want to happen, or do we really want to happen? And that's one thing that we talk about today. Do you serve God, or do you serve your pleasures? Do you serve your opinions? Do you serve other people or the fear of other people? Because if you believe in God, then you know that there's nothing impossible. So Black people will rise. There's nothing that's impossible. So we just got to be able to put the work in on ourselves and show people that it's possible. Then it can be possible.
I love it.
I want to add something. I want to add something real quick too, man. I think I want to say if it's something I do admire about Candace Owens, it's her bravery and putting herself out there.
Oh God.
I would say that I admire that about her, and the reason I say that is and her strategy, because I think we can start implementing the strategy, because I know people keep talking about stats, and I might have to go do some digging just to confirm it. But who is the most mass shooters? So when we went around and started calling white people, oh, y'all are mass murderers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are a bunch of mass murderers. We could look at molestation. We could look at some of these other things that what we've seen. And like I said, I don't got the stats, so I can't put it on them yet. But if I find the stats, I can put it on them too. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, but we so focused on trying to overcome our stuff or defend ourselves. Don't let us put a mirror up to y'all and show y'all, hey, y'all want to talk about us murderers? Y'all up here shooting up churches and schools and all of this stuff. We can put the mirror right back on you and show you what's really going on too. You know what I'm saying? I choose not to go that route because we need to focus on ourselves. So it ain't really, that don't benefit us. But if you want, it's every culture got their thing.
4, 3, 2, yeah, go and chill, yeah. Man, y'all watching this video, man. You ain't subscribed yet? Man, you got about 5 more seconds to go and subscribe. I'm finna show this person right here, man. Hey, subscribe to this channel, man. We got work to do. All right, let's get back to it.
Well, you could just point holes and poke holes at. You know what I'm saying? You can point holes, and like I said, I might have to go do some digging just to have these things on lock. You know what I'm saying? Just to counteract, not to use in attack mode. But hey, you want to call out us if we murderers? Let's talk about the mass shooters and how many people they take out and things like that. Cause we can flip it right back on them. You know what I'm saying? It took me a while to think about some stuff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give me a challenge. I'll figure out a way. You know what I'm saying? but it's not. But to go back to, it's not about that and what everybody say. We have our own issues. The things she pointed out are issues within our community, but that's not a reflection on Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to put the action and saying all Black people are like this, when that is not the case. Because every time you say Black people are murderers, no, we have murderers in the Black community. It's a difference, because it's murderers in the white community. It's mass shooters in the white community. That don't mean all white people are murderers. That doesn't mean, and everything like that. It's my issue is when we start lumping everything as Black. You know what I'm saying? And it's never really good stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff they might say, oh, Black people can dance or whatever like that. They'll say stuff like that, but that don't benefit us. You know what I'm saying? But anything that can hurt us, they try to attach and latch on to us. And so that's the part I just wanted to clarify. Like, yo, like, because I've seen people say, yo, put up stats and show the stats and stuff. If I get the stats, don't try to refute it. You know what I'm saying? And showing that, yo, y'all are just as murderers. Y'all might just do it in bigger numbers than what we do. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. Maybe we should use Candace tactics and we can flip it, but I prefer to focus on how do we better ourselves, how do we get our community right, because that don't serve us no purpose, what they doing. You know what I'm saying? We need to get ourselves right and correct the issues that Candace was talking about.
Right.
Plus, on that note, I know we're going in. On that note, most of us who know better just do better. You know what I mean? So when you see all of the promotion Because if you can see it on social media, if you can see it on any type of media, hear it on radio, it's being heavily promoted somewhere. Most of us who know better, we could talk amongst ourselves and do all of that type of stuff, but we not outlandish. We not out here. All white people, like we're not using those tactics. We don't stoop to the level of we don't stoop to the other people's levels, and we really do center in on what's around us and what we have control over instead of like realizing that this is pivotal for all of us, and we know that it affects all of us, but that's the same thing going back to that branding. Like you look at people in the hood, you talk about single baby mamas and stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's a thing, but it's not like the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many families, so much community. When I go out there, man, they give me so much love. They'll let me know if any danger is present. There was a loose dog around the corner. Be on the lookout. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like
that news dog headed straight for you too, Trey. They know who to attack.
Yeah, I mean, so it's when other people, such as Candace, who I know is not talking to anybody of the impoverished area, you just gaining your stats again. I say it. My new slogan, my second slogan is stats are not facts, because those numbers didn't even add up to me. You fucking Milwaukee, Wisconsin, ain't no black people in there. Anyway, so the these like none of that stuff is adding up to me. It's fun to be able to just throw numbers, and to trigger something. But I mean, how long do you want to be a negative catalyst? How long do you want to drive on controversy? You know what I'm saying? Are you actually doing anything, or do you just want attention? From the outskirts looking in, for her, it seems more of an attention grab. And like Paul said, it's good marketing. She's gotten what she wanted from attacking her own people, basically. And of course, drew up conversations like this. So applause in effectively making something. I don't know what to give her, but uh, but the fact of the matter is, like, well, those stats are not facts, because those numbers didn't even. The one time that I looked up statistics, I looked up how. Because once at one point, Richmond, Virginia was considered the murder capital of the United States. Um, so I started looking into it. This was years ago. I started looking into it, and I looked into how many deaths was caused by accident, because I was like, the accidents in Richmond is crazy. It's like not a day go by without me seeing some type of 3 to 4 car pileup on the highway, going to work and coming from work. I'm almost guarantee you it's going to be an accident. Those are considered homicides as well. But was those taken into consideration? It's almost always a white woman behind the wheel when I see it. Oh, okay. But yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That, like, so who is creating these statistics? Who's creating the statistics? What is the propaganda, and what numbers are you actually including? You're gonna go to illiteracy. We already discussed and established that the literacy test in America is bullshit. Like most of this shit. How much of school do you remember? We learned how to read in elementary. Thank you. They don't even teach cursive no more. You know what I'm saying? So how much is it really literacy? And then what you're testing, you're not teaching me how to think for myself. You're not teaching me how to, what I actually need. You're not teaching me how to actually learn. I learned how to learn at a business seminar. We learn more from what we say and do than what we see and hear. What they tell you to do in school: sit down, be quiet, listen. But then get upset if you don't participate. I mean, it ain't nothing but confusion. So this literacy, fuck that board, because they don't know what the hell they talking about either. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit All of that shit is surface level. Remember, we go past that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my take.
Hey, so hey,
Appreciate
look, hey,
anybody else with I'm sorry, Paul.
no. I was gonna say, man, we've been going for a while, man. We've been going for a while. It's 9:00. Thank everybody for rocking with us. I wanted to give Unfiltered Brothers the opportunity, to say any like closing statements or anything that you want to say towards this topic before we get ready to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody hit a point, like, and I think I just want to commend y'all boys, man, like for real, like
y'all too,
like for real, like we look for this is the whole reason we started the podcast because these conversations was being talked about, and I'm like, all right, well let's put it out there, like you know, it's always that conversation of change and like everything like that, and I always was told like you are a representation of God in your life. You represent God in your life. So sometimes it's not about us reaching out to the masses and making like this big overall change. Like Trey hit it, like work on yourself, make yourself a better person, like focus on you and make you better. And then you'll never know, like, I promise, like I'm very blessed to have the friends and people in my life that I do, because I don't know where I'd be if it was up to me. You feel me? So like, they get better, I get better, then I talk to y'all, and then it's like, man, like I'm ready, I'm revved up. We recording on Saturday. I'm like, all right, we might have a part 3 of this conversation.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Nah, I just want to say, we talk about the change. I know the 3 years doing this podcast, I felt myself growing as an individual. If you talk to some people around me, especially if you don't really know me as a person, they probably say like I'm an introvert. I don't really talk much, anything like that. See, exactly. But I use this platform, to speak my mind, to use my voice to be impactful for the community. And I'm just appreciative of God blessed me with the mind I do have to control my thoughts, control the decisions that I do make. Because even though we have a different mindset from those individuals that live in those poverty areas, but I still able to, like you said, humble myself and understand the things that they go through day by day. And I'm just appreciative. We have to be the change in our communities. I'm blessed to work with the youth in the community. I'm a youth league basketball coach, and I work with the youth mentorship program in the area. And it's good to see those kids. I've seen kids from elementary school, that some of the kids that's graduated now, because that's just how long we've been doing it in the community. So just seeing them grow and being the positive role model, like y'all said, to them, so they can have individuals to look up to, and they don't have to look at the rappers, they don't have to look at the athletes to be that. They know somebody that's actually out here doing what they're doing. We always talk about the media show this and that. We have the podcast now, so we are the media, so we can put out the information. We can put out the information that we want to put out, so they can go back and listen to it and take it into account and help their life, help better their lives and everything like that. So I just want to commend y'all for everything that y'all are doing. I really appreciate the invite. I love these type of conversations myself. Like Joe said, we have these in private, but it's also good to have it on camera as well, so we can start the conversation in the community. So once again, I appreciate y'all for the invite.
Yeah, real talk. Hey.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you coming out, man. Real talk.
Man. And so with that, man, we want to once again give a shout out to the Unfiltered Brothers. We'll have their information down at the bottom. So shout out, man. Make sure y'all subscribe and tune in with them. Also, shout out Mr. West. He got the Silent Conversations podcast, man. The Three
Yes.
Keys, the book, man. He got a lot of dope stuff going on. The Silent Academy, all that stuff. We'll have that information down at the bottom. And then, man, y'all just keep tuning in with us, man. We got the lives every week. We drop the episodes every Friday, so y'all make sure y'all tune in with that, man. But I mean, this was a great topic, man. I appreciate everybody coming on, sharing their opinions, and being respectful. Everybody got their views and their thoughts and stuff like that, man. But the fact that we come together, we might have opposing thoughts or perspectives, but we can come together and still we want the same goal, which is a better Black community. That's what we want at the end of the day. So we want to thank everybody out there, man. Y'all take care. Have a good night. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.